The first technical session for the day is about the critical aspects on RERA. One of the most important legislation in the last 10 years which has come in the real estate sector is about the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016, popularly known as RERA. The act was implemented in the country in two stages, first in 2016 and few sections were implemented in 2017. In our state, RERA came into full-fledged by the notification in 2021 and full-fledged RERA in the state started in 2023. To discuss about the entire aspect of RERA, the transition from WB HERA, the pre-regime of RERA, to RERA, we have with us Mr. Vinay Thyagaraj, a well-known figure, to speak about this particular law in the real estate sector. Mr. Vinay is a chartered accountant, DISA LLB, is a partner, rather founding partner of Venue and Vinay. He is also the author of two important manuals on RERA. One is Karnataka RERA manual and another one is Maharashtra RERA manual. He has also delivered around 300 lectures on RERA at various forums of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, different government institutions, LLB colleges. I would request Mr. Sumit Biani to please facilitate Mr. Vinay Thyagaraj. Please give a big round of applause for Mr. Vinay Thyagaraj, who has given us time. Vinay sir, relatively the RERA is new to the state of West Bengal. We are only one and approximately 20-year-old baby in case of RERA. We would like to hear all the critical aspects of RERA, how these different issues can be handled. I would invite you to please come up and take the dais and speak further on the RERA.
Thank you. Thank you, Gopalji, for the nice introduction. Very good afternoon to one and all. Very good afternoon. Thank you. And thanks to ACAE for inviting me to share some of my experience and knowledge related to the real estate. And with respect to RERA is today's session. And I know that I'm standing between this session and the lunch. Can I know what time is the lunch break for the organizers? Okay, fine. Good. Thank you. Yeah, because giving about an hour or 2 hours for this subject is something which is not sufficient, and considering the impact and also the opportunities for the professionals and the members. Having said, I just wanted to know before I present about this topic or a subject, how many are non-chartered accountants are here? Not a chartered accountants? Please raise your hands. Okay. So you are a non-chartered accountant, but related to the real estate, right? Okay. Anybody from the industry? Real estate industries? Like you are part of the builders, developers? Okay, great. Thank you. So this gives a mix of the industry professionals as well as the other than the professionals also. So today's topic is more about the critical aspects of the RERA. Okay. And I'll get down and I'll interact with everybody because more of a theory, I love to have a deliberation and interact sessions with everybody. So when I say about critical aspects of RERA, first we should know about aspects of RERA. Then we'll go to the critical aspects of RERA. That's the basic things. How many of you know about RERA, not only with the words, beyond the RERA words? How many of you know in depth about, not in depth, at least about why RERA, what RERA, how RERA, and why should we have it? Only about 1.5 hands are gone up. Okay, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. Okay, yeah, good. First thing I would boldly say that RERA is something which is a radical thing which has come to India and which the government has brought in as a radical movement, a radical step in terms of bringing the regulation to this industry. Can I know why? Can I know why this is a radical when I say that RERA is a radical to this industry? Yes, sir. PPT, okay, I'll just see that. What do you mean by radical? First, let me give an example. A radical means something which doesn't fit into the human mind. At the first instance, if somebody like Elon Musk, SpaceX, he wanted to take us to the moon for a holiday. It really didn't fit into our mind. Now it becomes a reality. A similar thing for RERA also. Why it's radical? You wanted to say? Yeah. I need somebody to share the mic.
I think the sector has been operating with almost very negligible laws over the years, and I think all of us observed a lot of you know operating styles of developers over the years, which was very very unorganized, and there was no consistency. So I think that radical really fits in because somebody really came and started supervising, or I would say, creating processes to control the entire sector activities.
Okay. One thing which I say that unregulated to regulation, which is a something which is one of the radical aspects which is meant as per is input. Second radical statement, anybody can say? Industry as such, yeah, then? Standardization. Somebody has some practice in West Bengal, is not same practice in southern part, Mumbai. Then? Project wise. In terms of the money management or the financial management, which is largely unregulated, largely something which was not really an intention of what was the borrowing or the raised it. If you say something about that, is this a new under RERA, madam? Is what not a really new under RERA also. Some other legislation was present before RERA also. What was that? Some money has been collected for some purpose, should be used for only that purpose. Which was the law which was prevailing? We had something called PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, especially the public money. If you use any public money for the purpose other than that, immediately PMLA will trigger. That is the reason if something goes wrong in this industry, which is the first agency will come? Not the police, not the CBI, which was the industry which comes, which was the institution which goes, ED, right? So this industry has a very different type of way of operating compared to any other industry. It's the second largest after agriculture, first largest in terms of the tax contribution, the first largest in terms of the unskilled labor deployment, and more so ever it's an evergreen industry. Evergreen industry, it never changes, it never goes out of as long as the humans are surviving. So that's a big opportunity, big impact of this. Yeah, SEBI is something which is a regulator. Can I say there is a SEBI, there is a RBA, there is a various other regulators we had. Now RERA has become a regulator to this industry. Which industry? Real estate industry. How do I differentiate a SEBI with RERA? Can somebody say? Unlisted developers, okay. It's a regulatory agency like food industry, FSA, SSA is there, RBI is there, right? Compared to that, how this is different than that? See, these are the fundamentals which I am touching upon so that you appreciate this RERA as a legislation and why so is important to this industry. And not for the industry as a whole, it benefits to every stakeholders. I'll keep sharing throughout this presentation. How do we differentiate the SEBI, RBI or any other regulator compared to this RERA? Financial, non-financial. It's a regulation and development. RERA stands for Regulation and Development Act. It doesn't start about Regulation Act. It has a inbuilt Development Act also. Then what else? SOP for doing the business. Like SEBI is a SOP for the investment, RBI is for the banks, RERA for real estate. The fundamental difference is RBI SEBI is a national and which operates nationally unique. But RERA has become a state-wise, even though it's a central act. Even though it's a central act, the regulatory mechanism, the development mechanism, the monitoring mechanism, the operating mechanism at the state, because land-related laws are always with the state. All along about 7 decades, 70 years, government could not do anything related to land-related laws. So they come out with a federal system where we collectively come out with the act, that is a central act, RERA Act 2016, where the powers are given to the state to frame the rules as well as regulation and also regulate the industry itself. So central government has given an act and remaining everything with the states. So with this, there is a win-win situation where government has given a limitation and you cannot travel beyond this act. That is what is they made it, and the rules has to be within the framework of the act. That is a fundamental thing which we have all seen. This is a big aspect where state has to play a very important role in terms of this industry. And when I say the state has to play a very important role in this industry, so there's a RERA has to play an important role in this industry, not a regulation, because what we have seen all along is a regulation. The moment the government body or the government department gets into, what we see is more about regulation rather than the other aspects of it. It's a 7 years plus RERA is implemented across India, and West Bengal is about, prior to RERA we had something called West Bengal HERA. I do not know what was the government intention not to fit into something which is a very big opportunity rather than to play regionally. And one of the guests was also telling that gives an opportunity for a local player also. One way it is okay, but at the bigger picture, bigger level, the moment you allow everybody to come and do the business, come and carry out the business, the entire ethos or entire opportunities goes up for each and everyone. That is an important aspect of it. And I have a special respect to West Bengal. West Bengal is the place where is the oldest place where the business has started, from the East Indian Company to everywhere. And the greatest leaders from the West Bengal, whether it's a spiritual, whether it's a movie, Satyajit Ray and Nobel Amartya Sen. But unfortunately, for the government policies over the decades has pushing the industries away from the West Bengal. Somewhere, something compared to any other state which has moved in a very, very faster growth compared to the West Bengal, which has a direct impact on this industry, direct impact on the real estate industry. So those are all the important aspects we should look into when we say that real estate industry alone cannot grow unless you have entire ecosystem to grow itself. Say as the initial guests were mentioning about, you need a social infrastructure for any real estate project to grow. You cannot build one apartment without having a school, malls, infrastructure, a transport or a facilities. You cannot make it successful. So that is an important aspect in terms of the real estate itself. For you to grow a real estate, you should have enough potential demand for it, and which should be a continuous demand also, which is created by way of the bringing the more and more businesses, more and more opportunities for not only to this industry, across all industry, which is the one thing which should remember in terms of the growth of this real estate is not a, it's a direct indication of other industries' growth also. This act, the RERA Act which I mentioned, that it's a radical, not only accepted by the initial, when I say not accepted in this, initial hesitation, initial a lot of stress on not only the builders, even every aspect, every stakeholders of this industry. There is a hesitation to agree, hesitation to accept, hesitation to implement this act is part of everybody's stakeholders. When I say stakeholder, it doesn't mean only a builder or a promoter. Home buyers, we say that RERA is for home buyers. How many of you agree with this? RERA is for home buyers. Is that the intention of the act? One of the intention, it is one of the intention of act, but it is not the only the intention of the act. So even the home buyers, the major beneficiaries of this act is hesitate to comply with this act. So that is a difficult aspect. That is something which I say that's one of the radical aspect of this act. So because during my presentation, I'll keep sharing that what is the role of the home buyer or a allottees or a purchaser. Even they hesitate to comply with that, hesitate to accept this. Why should I accept this? So that makes much more difficult to make this act or make this statute very successful. And when I say that not only benefit the home buyers, the majority of this act or majority of this industry is benefited by whom? Real estate is really benefit to whom? From the industry I wanted to say. Everybody can share. Builders? Huh? Economy. Who is the real one agency or one group is always benefited? Who is that? Huh? Government? Is it so? Is it so? Home buyer? Actually the industry is what? Either builders, right? Builders or developers. Then amongst them who is the real beneficiary? Huh? Real estate industry, not about talking about RERA. Industry. Banks, then the organized players that is against the builders and developers. As a country as a whole, obviously, sir, country as a whole will get the benefit. Then consumers, investors, brokers, who else? Who left is a question mark. Okay? Yeah. So everyone get their own share of their benefit, but the highest beneficiary is always a government. As rightly said, a round class of applause to sir. So reason is every 100 rupees a customer pays, 40 rupees goes to the government. Every 100, it's not I'm talking about a profit. On the revenue part of 100 rupees, 40 rupees goes to a government. How? 5% GST at the end, sir. Before that, 18 to 28% on the material procurement. Then what else? Stamp duty registrations. How many levels of stamp duty by the time the apartment reaches to the customer? At minimum 2. It may go 3, 4 also. Initial land buyer, then the JD, then something, then the agreement of sale, then the final sale deed registration to the customer. There is a multiple stamp duty component which involves in terms of the transaction. Then TDR taxation, income tax, there is a direct taxation on the profits. There is agriculture to non-agriculture conversion first. There is a conversion charges, approval charges, NOC charges, development charges, plan sanction charges. Every money should go to whom? Government. So invariably government don't want this industry to go wrong at any point of time. In any state, that is a direct benefit to the government. What is the indirect benefit to the people behind the government? We all know it. Okay? So indirectly there is a bigger role for a government to play to keep this industry always growing factor, growth. It is not like any other, okay fine, I can sideline it. It can't sideline by the government. If any government leaders knows that this is the industry which gives the much impetus to the revenue to the government, then this should be active at all point of time, vibrant at all point of time, and ensure that that grows at all point of time. So that is the one thing which we should know, that the stakeholders of the industry, the government is the first one, the builders, developers are the second one, bankers and lenders are the third, your vendors or suppliers, service providers, skilled labor, employment is the other aspect of it, the investors invariably, finally the home buyers. So all these aspects are covered under RERA. The best part is all these stakeholders are covered under RERA. So we always look at when RERA comes, it is the developer builders, builders or developers, and the home buyers. But when RERA, if you go in depth of it, the objective, the provision, the intention, and the responsibilities, all these stakeholders, all these group are part of this, under these provisions of RERA. And of course, the agents or the channel partners, whomever you call, they facilitate the transaction of the primary market. So this is what is, we should also remember that I'm only not a builder promoter, I don't need to know about RERA. And more so important, if you are a professionals who are part of the practice of and advising to any real estate builders. How many advise to your clients, real estate clients? Need not to be on RERA. Forget about RERA, because many of you said, first time I'm listening to RERA, I don't know RERA, probably I wanted to know RERA. Forget about RERA. Otherwise, how many of you at least involved in terms of advising to your customer on income tax, on GST, right, on property matters, advise your close friends, relatives, or your son, parents to buy a property, or you buy a property yourself, right? Then you should know about something about this subject or topic to certain extent. If you look at the income tax, you tell me which chapter doesn't have a correlation to the property transaction. How many heads of income we have under income tax? Huh? 5 heads of income. Any head of income doesn't have property related. Which head? That is, we have income from house property. Doesn't have? Capital gain we have, income from house property we have, then business income we have, salary we have. Can you see this industry is related to income tax in all heads of income. So invariably you end up with knowing about something about real estate, and which has, if you practicing as income tax, and GST, though, okay, fine, if you practice on real estate industry sector, or maybe on a rental, leasing, or now what is that, sir? RCM has come, correct? On residential also you should pay the RCM if you are using for the commercial purposes. GST is something which is ever evolving. So on the real estate it's so more. So in spite of that, inside of which you have to operate your real estate business, which fits into all these laws and also RERA. So as a professionals, you may not shy away stating that I don't know about RERA. Still I will advise. It is like I don't know about basics of the medical, but still I do a surgery. So that is a statement if you are a medical profession. RERA is a regulatory body for the real estate industry. What do you mean by when I say regulatory? Can somebody shout out when you say regulatory body? What do you mean by a regulatory body? That's a controlling. At the point of it's a controlling. That means if I overlook or if I bypass this regulation, what will happen? One is the penalties. Okay, I will pay the penalties. If that also not complied, next is what? That's a free boarding lodging, right? Beyond that, then you will be out of the business. Very simple. You will no more exist in the business. Is any cases in West Bengal post RERA many business houses are vanished? They were roaring before RERA, post RERA they are all vanished. Small and medium to okay, fine. I'm not comparing, not considering it. Large business houses are also moving away, shying away from this industry. Because the competitive edge pre-RERA has been lost and something else has been emerged to them. But they do not want to be in that space. At least about 100 top builders in India are away from now in the real estate. 100 top is not there in the industry. Once upon a time they're part of this industry and they're not there. But the companies which are not completely into the real estate is emerged as a real estate players. Tell me who are all they? They're very, very aggressive on this industry now. But they're not core of a real estate. Tatas, Birlas, Ambanis, Adanis, Godrej, Mahindra. They never been in the real estate, but they had a projects. But now they are emerging into this space because of their capabilities of raising the funds, capability of their delivering it. Their brand has a huge value. They wanted to monetize that. A 100 apartment, what would be the turnover? Average price? 100 crore, correct? If Godrej wanted to do, I think I have seen the Godrej project, right? I think about 400 apartments valuing about 2.5 crores. What is the value of it? 1000 crores. For a 1000 crores Godrej to do a business other than real estate, how much effort they should put? To sell a bottle for this, what is this, Aquafina, when they will see this 1000 crores value of worth? So this industry has made such a way to those companies which never thought that they will be into the real estate in so big way, they are on real estate because of RERA. Because there is a framework to play. There is a framework to play in terms of this business, that is RERA. There is a regulation, whether it's 100 builders, 100 plot owner or 1,000 or 10,000. Whether you are an ordinary proprietorship and a listed company, the regulations are the same. So I have something called, these are all the reasons and objects of that. Accountability, transparency, professionalism, symmetry of information, responsibilities, regulatory mechanism, dispute resolution system. If you look at each of these objectives, was that missing in this industry or not really achieved? What was the responsibility pre-RERA? Asking for a builder or a customer or anybody for that matter. Always there was a multiple questions. For one customer, for one type of builder, the responsibility is different. For another builder, the responsibility is different. The person is sitting at Kolkata, responsibility is different. Sitting at Mumbai, builder is different. It brought a platform for everybody to play a equal. Standardization. What do you mean by standardization? Level playing field for everybody, irrespective of the size, irrespective of the location, irrespective of how big you are, who you are, don't care, right? So standardization. Why it was missing all along? Sir, to manufacture this 300 ml bottle, who should approve it? Huh? Have you seen any bottle without this? How? Huh? Somewhere, someday, okay? That's a negligible part of it. At least you don't buy that bottle, right? Yeah. So unless you see FSSAI license, what else you see on this bottle, sir? ISI mark, then? Huh? MRP, batch code printing, and sealed properly, packed properly, then you will pay how much? 10 rupees, 5 rupees to that vendor. All along, how many crores you paid to a builder without looking into all these aspects? Exactly, right. So that is the difference of any industry with the real estate. If you don't appreciate the uniqueness of this industry, we don't appreciate this statute, this act itself. So the product never existed when you wanted to purchase it. Or when you wanted to purchase, when is its existence, you do not have a choice. You have to purchase a third floor, eighth apartment which doesn't have a vastu, which doesn't have a view of a lake. So which forcibly wanted me to purchase something which was not existing and accept that, and you do not know what you get a delivery. Now you can feel, right? You can taste it, feel it, experience it. You don't want, you can return it. Compared to a real estate, when will you feel? How do you feel? When you pay EMI, you will feel it. Right? Otherwise, when you send an invoice on GST portion, looking at that, you feel it. How can you feel it? Yeah. So unless till a delivery of a apartment, delivery of a plot, delivery of a project, you don't feel that. Okay. And very difficult to experience that. But what is your experience when you booked it and when you delivered it? What is so? Why? So promises are not met, whatever they promised initially, and the delivery. Then quality has not been delivered, what is they promised initially. Promises for delivery were different. Sir has come, brochure. Sir looked into brochure and purchased the properties. Okay, which is not actually delivered on the site. Then? Hidden cost. Okay, then? Delivery time. At max 9 months they should have been delivered it. 19 months they took the time. Then? What else? Sir? Carpet area, right? So somebody delivered, promised that 1 liter of diesel that they will be filled, but end up with only 800 ml. What is components are missing? Components are missing. Okay, then? Quality of the fitting accessories are something which were shown in my brochure is not the same thing which is there. Then?
The infrastructure which has been promised as per brochure is not complied.
Infrastructure. What is that infrastructure, sir?
Say they assured for the club, so many facilities will be there.
Okay. Amenities and facilities which is showcasing in the brochures are not really delivered on the site or a physical.
Some extra constructions have been built by the promoter.
Some extra construction like, yeah, you booked a car with the 4-wheeler and delivered with the 5-wheeler, right?
Say originally it was 400 flats, but when it was delivered there were 500.
500 flats. Additional 100 families joined, na? You should be happy about it.
There is nothing to be happy. The same infrastructure, 100 more people have come.
Then, what else? Acha, sir is looking at the parking, okay? Parking to promise kiya, बाद में like एक ही parking है, you need more than one parking because family is बड़ा, like I have 2 cars, 3 2-wheelers, right? So I don't have a place to park. Exorbitant rate only for parking. Then, now you are married, you have to buy a parking also, irrespective of the price, right? Then, some of the criminals are there. Very few criminals are there. Their intention to defraud itself. So they sold it to multiple players, right? It's like you married multiple people. Then, what else? So you have seen some of the experience of this industry, which is actually not seen any other industry, because this is a very unique industry. The selling of an ideas rather than a product. So that is the difference of this industry. Tellings of a dreams, right? Many a times it remains a dream for many of us. So that is the difference of this industry. Don't we feel that something which on the screen is required for this industry, where there is a real objective or benefit is to be delivered out of this? One of the aspects of this act is dispute resolution mechanism. What do you mean by dispute? Earlier, pre-RERA, where you used to go in case of a dispute? Consumer court or civil court, right? How many cases now civil court is having now? 18,000 crores are there in India. 18,000 courts are there in India. We have 5 crore plus cases are lying with the courts without delivered the orders. Many a time in newspaper you read that a next generation is continuing their legacy of a dispute or a complaint in a court. So this act has brought such a way that like everything is a timely bound manner. 60 days done, that's all. Any dispute resolution you resolve in 120 days at the one level, another one level, tribunal is appeal level 120 days. Beyond that, still if you have energy, you can go to the high court. So they eliminated all the lower courts, straight away you are elevated to the high court, still you have any dispute. That's the beauty of this. So this act has something which has made a radical in terms of the way that you operate the business. Whatever you are saying is possibly a true, a relatively a true, that is what we hear about it. Now you tell me positive about this industry. What are the positives about this industry? What are the contribution made by this industry? Right? Providing shelters to families. Whose responsibility was that earlier? But primarily a responsibility of a shelter belongs to government. Correct? How much government has done the good for this? How many of you are living in a government colonies? Please. At least your parents. So, the whatever food, shelter, education has to be a government. But government failed to deliver these promises. Imagine the government themselves failed the promises, they are given to a private players to deliver these promises. Don't we acknowledge that what they are doing is something which is beyond the government performance? Second, how many of you built your own houses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, 6? Raise your hand, sir, please. Okay, good. I can see people who built houses are beyond 50 years. Anybody has built a house before 50 years of their age? When you are below 50, you have built it. Okay, good. Only 2. So imagine only 3, 4. Imagine how much the effort you go for single building in a house. So many, right? There is a proverb, right? What is the proverb? There is a proverb like, build a house, build a house and marry, right? Both are very difficult tasks. Nowadays, both are very easiest.
But that made me builder.
That made a builder. So experience of building a house has become a builder. So single house building itself is so difficult. Imagine the business of a builder who does the real estate, how much they struggle to deliver a house to house. Something which should appreciable. And today, if you go for a high-rise building, the moment when I say that high-rise building, something about 10 floors, you need to about take 18 approvals. 18 approvals. Apart from your local to your national, you should take it. Something environmental, you have to go to the Delhi. You have to go to something else at the Delhi. Airport authority, you should go to a Delhi. Like fire and NOC you need, airport authority, railways, highways, if you are related to the near to the lake or a water body, ZR. Imagine these are all the NOCs required. And you know how government agencies works. How smooth they works, right? You go in, you can come out. Huh?
That is the easiest thing.
Huh? You can come out, but the output will not come. So imagine a real estate project has to go through this churn of to deliver a house of 100, 200, 500. How much difficult the industry goes. On the paper, we always say single window clearance. What do you mean by single window clearance? There is no window, all doors only. Huh? Huh. So single window, like now we have seen that in something which happens in the Companies Act, right? When incorporation of a company, along with the company, what all you can get? PAN, TAN, PF, ESI, GST, right? Bank account numbers to certain extent. At least is eased out 5-6 department interaction along with my registration. But this industry don't want to do that. Even though they integrated, even though it's a state government, even though municipal, they don't want. What they will do. So see, you don't accept. First we don't accept what they will do. Correct? Understood that. What they will do, that is what we don't accept first. What they have done all along, sir. Huh? Other question is what they have done all along. Yeah. So this is what is this industry go through in terms of the challenges also. It is not an easy industry. It is not an easy industry to operate, manage, make everybody happy. Make everybody happy. I always say that this industry is something which value customer, don't respect customers. There is a two different thing. What do you mean by value customer and less respect to the customer? The moment this industry get complete that I respect the customers, also value customers, is a different. This RERA brought that aspect as part of it. That's the important thing which we should look at that. So this is a little bit about in terms of the objectives too under RERA. You should remember every provisions of RERA, every classes in RERA, every document of RERA has to test either of this, pass either of this test, either accountability, transparency, responsibility or standardization. There is no provisions in RERA without passing either of this test. That is the beauty of it. And as a professionals, we have a huge role to play under this legislation. But at this point of time, it looks like RERA means kya hai RERA mein? What is there in RERA? How many practice RERA? At least how many reduce? One? One? Raise full hand, sir. Good. Because half matlab, I don't know, you practice half or full. Okay. There, madam, then, I know Gopal ji hai. Aur? Only 3. Sir, Bengal has 4,000 real estate projects. West Bengal हीरा था, बाद में West Bengal रह रहा था. 4,000 projects, you have given only 3 people to monopolize it. Remaining are not seeing the potential of it, that's the reason. It's a huge potential as a professionals to practice on this. The reason which we as a professionals, as a chartered accountants, like always have a hesitation to jump into some new thing which take up as a part of our practice. I don't know how much you are preoccupied. If you don't have a time, probably you have to make your somebody in your organization to be of this. So that's a good opportunity you have. These are all the little theory. I'll pass on this presentation to you. You can go through that. And this is the entire structure. There was a 2016 WO West Bengal हीरा था, like 16 Act in the Central Act. Subsequently, by Supreme Court, there is a forum called People Collective Efforts, that is from West Bengal. Okay, you are part of that. Mr. Abhay Upadhyay was there. Like he fought a PAL before the Supreme Court, made there cannot be a law which is act can be state act cannot be beyond the Central Act. So those act was struck off by the Supreme Court. By virtue of that, what we got is the come back to the RERA, which is central act. Government has accepted it and started following 2021 rules, but 2023 actually they started operationalize the website. Just if you say that it's about a 1.5 year in terms of the actual RERA existence in West Bengal. Okay, so they started looking at that in detailed manner. And this is the one slide which talks about where all RERA involved. In an organization, if you imagine, who should know RERA? In a real estate industry, who should know RERA? Of course, owners should know RERA. Consumer should know, sir. Consumer should know RERA.
The owners, the employees,
All the stakeholders, it's a simple word, all the stakeholders, but who are all the stakeholders is important. That is the industry which we said. But in a real estate company, who core into real estate developers, builders, which are the divisions they should know in the department, in the organization? Accountable under the law is always be knowing it. Legal department should know, then sales and marketing should know, accounts and finance should know invariably, then promoters invariably they are the master, they should know. Investor relation department should know, then agents at the marketing sales should team know. Planning the project should know. Then engineering should know. Everybody should know this, na? In fact, everybody should. Probably the person who need not to know is the HR. But HR should know whom to hire. Right? The project planning, the acquisition, the legal, the finance and action, purchase and procurement, execution, engineer, architect, sales, marketing, CRM. Who else not knowing? But how many are knowing is important. Right? It is like everybody should wear an helmet is correct, but how many are wearing is important. So this is the importance of it. So if you are running a real estate company, means every department in the organization should know about this law, because you are governed under this RERA, that Real Estate Regulation and Development Act, and the authority. So you cannot say that I don't know RERA but still I do the business. What will happen? Somewhere you will end up with compensating that. So ignorance, innocence cannot be accepted in this industry anymore in terms of that. So you may ask a question, why should they all know? Sir, legal they should know, I understand. Why should engineer should know RERA, sir? Engineer should issue a certificate under RERA, so he should know. I'll come. Very good question. He was landowner always sleeping all along. Now he woke up also, right? I'll explain about landowner also, okay? So we had touched upon this. Engineers should know about RERA because there he has to issue the certificate. The person who issues a certificate should know about the quality. What was the promises to the customer? What you are developing now, including structural stability certificate.
5-year defects should be.
5 years defect should be there. Defect liability now extended to 5 years because of RERA, which brought a standardization across India. Right? Earlier 1 year, 2 year depends on your capability. Now it made 5 years. The moment you say 5 years of the defect liability, as a person who is an architect and a planning, don't he think that at least this should be there 5 years, no complaints. After that, okay, complaint to okay. At least he should ensure the product, material, services should not end up with 5 years of defects. That is the planning they should know. The moment you plan for 5 years of the defect free, what will happen? What will increase? Huh? Cost will increase. Madam, you provide for that costing in your books, madam. As an account finance, you should know, right? There's an increase in the defect liability period. My warranty period, I should increase 100 rupees more to my defect liability. So you are involved, madam. There is no escape for you. Then who wanted to escape? Make sales and marketing, right? A superb business. This industry works on marketing. Have you seen the advertisement of this industry? Huh? You go to airport, you see only two or three advertisements. One is the real estate, second is the jewelry, third is the maximum car. Right? Huh? High value added product, high value products. They afford to pay high values. And front of newspaper, either the real estate or a listing listing. If you are listing as in a BSc, NSc, you have to mandatory to do it. Or maybe iPhone, sir. I know, sir. I know, I got it, sir. Okay. Looking at it, I can make it. You wanted to say iPhone. Okay. So imagine this industry is always on the sales and marketing. 70% of the sales of this industry, primary market, routed through whom? The real estate agents. Correct? So they engage the agents, agents will do it. What is the qualification of an agent, sir? Huh? Sir, what are you talking, sir? You are buying 1 crore rupees from him. Don't you expect he knows something? Huh? Huh? Agent, sir, ka expression dekho. Maharashtra has made it compulsory.
But it is not implemented
All over India. It should be implemented, yes. How many have purchased the insurance policies? From whom you purchased it? Huh? Who is that agent? Who qualified for? IRDA. How, sir? By paying fees? By paying fees and passing the examination. For 173 rupees of annual premium, you ask, show me your agent certificate. That fellow wears LIC agent. Jindagi ka saath bhi baad bhi, right? Jeevan Anand. And for a payment of 1 crore, 2 crore rupees of booking, don't we expect the agent who market this should have some knowledge about in this industry? And what he talking? What is the qualities of this? He will say, what he will say, you tell me, sir. If you wanted an apartment, agent talks about what? Price, locality, amenities, then builder, very good builder, sir, 50 saal se. Then timelines he will say, then connectivity, the location, right? Then comparatives, next project 6,000 rupees, sir, this is only 5,999 rupees, right? Then what? Discount. If you don't close tomorrow, this would be sold it to somebody else waiting. Today is the last date, only few inventories left, only a flat left. Gold coin, right? So can you see this industry works and the agent works in somewhere there is completely not regulated, not consider their promises as promises. And as a customer, even here, I don't care. Whatever he says, I listen also. For a 173 rupees of a premium of LIC, you look at everything top to bottom. But a 2 crore rupees, 3 crore rupees of a property, the person who sells, we don't realize that what is he talking, what is his capacity, what is his capability, what is his education, background, how long he will be with you to handhold. How many of you looked into what is the source of the water for this? Where the drainage will go out once the project is completed? Where will be my parking? Do I have a sufficient parking? Do I have a sufficient oxygen? Do you have a connectivity, proper connectivity? Do you have a waste disposable system? Do you have a gas? Do you have a safety, security? Which broker speaks on this? Yeah? It's like marriage, sir. Okay? Everything starts after marriage. Till that life is happy, then happier. Okay? So, you should remember this industry because whatever I said, nobody talks, even nobody questions also. How many of you have looked at, is there is a sufficient water supply for my list of 30 years before I buying it? We don't think, right? Does this property has a proper disposable or sanitary connection which is approved by the government? Where will the sanitary will go? This is the critical aspects of this industry and the projects. Not I have a gym, I have a swimming pool, I have a garden. If I would have been used it, my body is not like this. Okay? So this is what is a specific in-depth is part of my RERA, which is built in terms of RERA. If you deeply read the provisions of this act, sections, rules, you can see that it's a mandatory that the promoter who promotes the project should give the details of this when? At the time of booking registration with RERA. That means you should have a clarity as a builder or a promoter. These are all the aspects which the project should have and capable of delivering that. And no car manufacturer thinks about the brake. Because every spare parts include the smallest nut bolt in the car is designed, ready and installed. So the minute or the minor aspects of the real estate is completely covered under RERA. That is a good part of it. When I say about the aspects, critical aspects, every aspect under RERA could be a critical aspect. But what I know, something which I know, many remaining is you can consider as a critical aspect. Huge, sir. Lot and lots of it. Lot and lots of it. Including West Bengal also have it. The recent circular talks about the non-compliance of submitting the quarterly updates, quarterly returns attracts about 25,000 rupees as a penalty. Okay. So, yes, we have structural defect, delay delivery, non-providing proper amenities, facilities, there is no water for that. You have 100, very simple, sir. The real estate business now has to happen. You promise what you can deliver. You deliver what you can promise. What is that you promised?
Is there any independent inspection agency who verifies and certifies the correctness of the premises as promised by the developer?
Okay, very good question. Is there is an independent agent or a professional who certified? Very good question. Now that has brought inside the RERA itself. There is a 3 professionals under RERA mandates to be part of this project. Since the inception till the completion, who are all they? Architects, engineer and a chartered accountant. What they will do this? Under RERA, what is their role to play? What is the objective of them? What is that? An architect certifies at the time of registration and on every quarter stating that the promoter is carrying on a development of this project and complied with the plan sanction which is obtained from the planning authority, and this is the progress of the project. The moment he says that complied with the plan sanctions, that means to say this fellow has to see what is the plan sanction, what is the NOCs obtained it, and whether he is following it or not.
These liabilities are defined under the
Under the act not defined, but many of the authority has issued the notices to those professionals to appear before how did you issue this certificate. The penalties are levied, they have cancelled, they have returned to their respective institute to debar and take the disciplinary actions. One of the architect attempted suicide in Tamil Nadu. Very good. So this has a inbuilt mechanism. So that means the architect should know his power before under RERA. What is that is certified? Certificates are issued. Acha? Okay, thank you, sir. And similarly, the engineer, a chartered accountant play a very vital role in terms of for what? Compliances to okay, sir. Financial management. Yeah. Yes. So chartered accountant play a very important role because entire act revolve around a chartered accountant. Money collected from whom? Home buyers. Money collected from the investors. Money collected raised through the bankers. For what purpose? For the real estate project purpose. The real estate has a land and the development activity. If you receive or raise the money for the particular project, particular purpose, it should be utilized for the same purpose or the project. That is the role of a chartered accountant. Quarter on quarter, I will look into what is the inflow of the funds for the purpose of the project and certifies that this money has been withdrawn in accordance with the progress of the development of the project. RERA talks about the Act section 42 LD specifically talks about the money which is realized from the allottees for the project. 70% should go to a separate account that should be monitored, regular, CA certificate, architect, engineer certificate should be obtained. Some of the states started looking beyond that. If you are raising a loan from the public or the private banks by mortgaging this project land, that means to say you are raising for this project, bring that money into this mechanism. That means the money which comes to a project should be utilized for that project, failing which money should be there in the bank account. That's all. It can't be taken away from any other next project, next businesses. 30% which is free money, you can take it. But that also you should prove that this 30% should not impact or impair the development of the present project. So chartered accountant play a very vital role, and the question if you ask, when should chartered accountant involve advising the builder? When is the correct time? Since inception is what? What do you mean by inception? Planning means what? Planning means what? Searching for the land. Probably at the very early stage he conceives that he wanted to do a real estate business, forget about everything. You should advise if you want to do a real estate business, this is what is all about. RERA. Fine, he heard you, he listened to you, fine, then still I wanted to do the business in spite of so many hurdles. Then he purchased the land, or he wanted to enter into a development agreement with the landowner. Then you have a bigger role to play, because you are marrying a landowner, and that marriage should continue till the delivery of a project, end of a project. You know that how the landowner behaves? Very good. The moment you married, then the diversion, they'll have a different face. I don't care for your tax. I will not pay tax. It is your responsibility. I don't follow RERA. It's your responsibility. So it's more important for you to advise the builder, bringing the landowner into the picture, including the clauses in the agreements. The money which is collected from sale of the units belongs to the landowner, should come to this account only. How many landowner will agree with it? Huh? No one. Correct? Why, sir? You are a landowner. Your unit sale in a unit sharing model. Sale of your money, unit. Money should come to the RERA account. Huh? You means?
There are two parts now. One is the builder and the other one is the landowner.
Yes.
So I am the landowner and there is one builder.
Obviously, sir, you are the landowner and the builders you are married by way of development agreement. When you sell it, the money should go to the RERA account. Yes, that's RERA which is registered with authority. You will be shared because you have to collectively you should deliver it. Some of the cases where developers are absconded made landowner responsibility to deliver remaining project. Yes, under RERA there is no differentiation of a landowner or a developer. Both are equally responsible. As a customer, I looking at you as a landowner. You entered an agreement with the developer. Because of you have entered into a develop agreement with that, you made some of the clauses where you have mentioned that he will deliver within 24 months. That means what is the steps you have taken for him to deliver within 24 months? That is agreement both of you entered, na? Joint development agreement you entered with your responsibility, his responsibility. It's your responsibility to make him to perform it. Based on that, I purchased this property. So many court cases, many cases which has come where developer is unable to deliver it, they made landowner also responsible because land easy to hold the landowner. His property is there, his other properties are there, other assets are there. So very important, if you are advising a landowner or a developer, it's more so important to make them understand the impact of it and completely be in a discipline about that project delivery. So it's very important, do not take it as a very casual in terms of this because we are seeing in other part of the country in terms of landowners are hit by this because of the indiscipline of the builders. Okay. So landowners are easy to target by any of the customers. So that's what very important aspect of it. In the interest of the time, I'll take 5 more minutes or not more than 5 minutes. I'll take the question and the questions only. Okay. And during the lunch break, I'm available. You can ask any other question. Sir. Yeah, banking is applicable to both, but what happened in the revenue sharing, money anyhow come to that account only. From that account, he will repay to the landowner. But in area sharing, money will go directly to the landowner. That is the intent, sir.
Sir, any project which is not covered under RERA, can we take, if there is any dispute in that project, can we take it through RERA?
That is a very different, sir. RERA is asking the jurisdictional powers. For that, what you should do is you should file an application directing RERA to register that promoter to register that project. There are 2 things. Then he will send a notice them to register the project, including levying of penalty of section 59.
For the old projects, which
exactly, yeah. Those are all taken. Those are all unregistered projects. Authority has taken the cognizance of it. They are issuing the notices to register the project as well as giving the benefit of complaint to the customers.
Okay. The cooperative societies are also covered.
Very much, sir. It's a real estate project. In the paucity of the time, about 1 hour, 1.5 hours, I am just giving you the very bigger view of it. Cooperative societies.
The project is not for sale, project is for the confined members only.
What do you mean by members?
Because the cooperative society is confirmed by the
Cooperative housing society, what will you do?
We will make a building where the members are defined and the cost will be shared into the defined ratio.
Then you have a right in the property.
Yes.
Then what?
So there is no sale as such.
It's not a sale, lease. Both are
There
covered.
is no sale, there is no lease.
Then how are you? Then who is promoting?
We all are promoters.
All are promoter. So,
Developer or a promoter to develop the property. That is third party.
sir, what happens? You are talking about the society model. You are registering a society, housing society. You are
Has allotted the plot for a society and the society is registered with 8 members, predefined, predetermined.
understood. Society is predetermined, right? Society is accepting membership for what?
For sharing the flats.
That's all.
But there is no sale in that.
Irrespective of that, okay, if you read the definition of a promoter, society is a promoter there. Because it's collecting the money, it is promising something to its members. Okay, so if you read the definition of a promoter, it includes the cooperative societies, includes the housing apex societies also there. In view of the same, it is covered, sir. In few of the states has gone to the High Court to take a stay. High Court said nothing doing. If I start giving, then there is no end to it. Okay, last question in the paucity of the time. Yes, sir.
So there are two models available. One is the sharing of the revenue, as gentleman said, and second is your
Area sharing.
So in case of revenue sharing, the money should go to escrow account.
In every case, it should go to the RERA account. It is not a escrow account. It is called RERA separate account.
Yes, I mean to say that.
Whether it's a revenue sharing or area sharing, 70% of the money belongs to that project. The project may have a 2 developers, 2 landowners, whatever may be. The account number which is there with the RERA should be a one account only. Money should go to that account only, unless authority has given a specific relief to it.
So both situations, the condition is same.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anything, sir, because yes, 70% money should come to this. If the landowner says, I will not sell, what Tamil Nadu did is, they have excluded those units which belongs to the landowner to the registration. And specifically mention 35 units belong to the landowner which is not for sale. Then you can sell it and collect it. RERA says that. Because he says that I am not selling. If you wanted to sell, you should also agree the terms of the RERA. You want this and that also, both is not permitted, na? Huh? Sir, section 3 mandates advance, collection, booking, sale, marketing, anything. Okay? So many aspects are there, very difficult because it's a minimum of 1 day in terms of to know basics of this. What I have given a overview or maybe the interaction made all of you to involve is to know that RERA is critical to this industry. And you just can't say that I don't practice RERA, I don't want RERA. Okay? Unless, even if you have taken a sannyasi, you need a shelter. Okay? For that also you need one home, you should know that also. So, this is a one good subject which impacts and which touches everyone's life directly, indirectly. In view of that, I recommend you to know about this. I request the organizers to allocate one full day for this subject. We can have a better interaction and knowledge session. Thank you so much, and wonderful audience. You are all participated in spite of the lunch break. Thank you.
I was just discussing, based on what sir is saying, that it is such a big subject. Under the ACA Skill Academy, we will plan a 3-day, at least 3-day workshop type of a thing. 2 days, 3-day thing, 2 hours, 3 hours per day, where we can discuss all these aspects of RERA. Thank you so much, sir.
2 hours into 3 days में नहीं होगा. अगर workshop करना है 3 days full day करना पड़ेगा, whole days. हाँ, correct. हाँ. एक तो वो हम लोग definitely कर लेंगे, and विनय को request करेंगे तो he would also come. He has to come. No scope to deny. So we will do it.
We do in Karnataka State Chartered Account Association. All along we were doing 2 days. Now this year we made 3 days. Because we felt it 2 days, morning 9 to night 11 o'clock also we were not able to close it. So we felt it we'll made 3 days. Not only the RERA, all aspects related to the real estate like GST, like income tax, RERA, accounting standards, there is a housing society, and every aspect will be covered where you will get a fair idea about entire real estate aspect and the industry, and which has a huge potential to the members and the professionals. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Even आपको बता दें इंस्टीट्यूट का 10 days का प्रोग्राम, 15 days का ना सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स, रेरा सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स 15 days का प्रोग्राम है, होल डेज का, 15 full days का.
ऑनलाइन अभी तो ऑनलाइन है.
हाँ.
वीकली
Yes, yes, yes. वो टाइम टू टाइम होता है. मैं I have done that.
we had last June, last May we had.
And we are fortunate that we have got Vinay here for RERA. Actually, he is the leading faculty on RERA in the country. So we must clap once for Vinay.
they say real estate is all about location, location, and location. But with RERA, it's all about regulation, transparency, and transformation. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out your precious time and to give us an overview about the entire RERA, why RERA came, what's the thought behind it, and how it affects each and every stakeholders in the real estate sector. And more than that, sir, thank you for inspiring us to see RERA as an amazing and a new profession for all practicing chartered accountants and all other professionals over here. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your time. It was an amazing opportunity and a pleasure for us to have you here, sir. And going to the next and the most awaited session, the lunch break. So we can all move towards that. And I request everyone to please come here by 2 sharp so that the next session can start for the technical session. Technical session 2 can begin with that. Thank you so much. Thank you.